Testing, testing, testing. I don't know what's going on, why it's acting up. Okay, now we're getting online. So we are getting there little by little. We're just waiting on one more. I might have to reset. I don't know because my FB account looks like to be acting up a little bit. Anyway, so I'll just go ahead and discuss what I was going to talk about and my thoughts on the Second Amendment situation in Virginia and the need to continue to fight against the gun grabbing extremists that are empowered. We have on the ground fighting against the Second Amendment. We have every town extremists. We also have Moms Demand Action extremists who are bought and paid for by Bloomberg, just like our governor of Virginia, lieutenant governor, and also attorney general, and much of the Democrats that are in there right now. And they seem to think that it is okay to make the citizens that they serve felons overnight for owning particular firearms. Anything that's center fire, anything that holds more than 10 rounds, that's pretty much every firearm that you can think of, with the exception of a bolt action type firearm. These people, unfortunately, they think that they are better than all of us, and it was shown by Mark Levine when he was on the Ingram show and his attempts to wreak havoc on the people by telling us in his arrogant way that we are not smart enough to own firearms. That's pretty much what he was saying, that we do not have the right to defend ourselves against the government. We do not have the right to fight against tyranny. And one of his tweets, I'll see if I can quickly find it for you. So basically, he's trying to compare the weapons of today to the weapons of the 1700s. And he says the muskets of our founding fathers also did not contain 30 bullet magazines. So he's trying to justify his ban of 30 bullet magazines and trying to justify it by comparing it to 1700s. And if you think your AR-15 will do diddly against the full might, this is a threat, by the way, the full might and power of the United States military, you need to talk to someone who has served there. See, if you remember correctly, Congressman McEachin stated that perhaps the governor of Virginia could use the National Guard to fight against anybody who refuses to comply with their new gun laws. And Governor Northam stated that there will be consequences if 2A sanctuary counties who have made themselves sanctuary, that there will be consequences. He didn't specify what those consequences are, but we could certainly figure out that it probably has to do with funding. Like, he'll try to not give funding away to those counties. By the way, 90% of the localities in Virginia are Second Amendment sanctuary, so I don't think that will work too well in his favor. So what consequences are he's talking about? Well, you could just read between the lines, because if Congressman McEachin says that the National Guard could be called out, and now you have Delegate Mark Levine, saying that basically he's trying to say that, yeah, you go ahead and try to fight against us, and we will send the U.S. military, we will send the might of the National Guard against you, and we basically will defeat you because you're Your little toys are nothing compared to what we have. So this is a direct threat by Delegate Mark Levin, and this is the mindset of the Democrats in Virginia who are attempting to create havoc among the people of Virginia, and this is why we Virginians are here in Virginia fighting against this and have created two sanctuary counties and cities and towns in order to fight against this tyranny that is taking place within our borders. Now, people would say that, well, why, it was your fault that you allowed them to be voted in. Okay, so you want to make that argument. So the people of Virginia were complacent, but that does not give the right of any Democrat whatsoever to trample on the rights of its citizens. None whatsoever. And to try to make a justification, oh, it's your fault for not getting out and vote. Okay, that was a mistake for sure, but it does not justify the taking away of arms, the attempt of taking away arms from people, and it doesn't. And it does not justify the comments made by delegates who are continuing to inflame the situation. And these people are crazy. They are crazy, and it's unfortunate that they continue to do these kind of things. And I'm so sad that Delegate Mark Levin made such a irrational, stupid comment to continue to make things worse. Why? You want to justify your HB 961 bill that will make almost every Virginian who owns any type of firearm a felon overnight? You and Senator Saslaw, you come up with these bills and you expect that people are just going to bow down to it? I don't think so. It ain't going to happen. And it's your fault. It is your fault, Delegate Mark Levin and Senator Saslaw and Bloomberg and Soros and Governor Northam, Attorney Jerry Herring, for continuing, and Congressman McEachin and others for continuing to inflame the situation in Virginia. You continue to act like you're enforced, and you continue to try to make threats against the people of Virginia, and you are responsible. You are directly responsible. If anything happens in Virginia, you are directly responsible for any kind of violence that could ever break out against the people. It's your fault. It's your fault if that happens, because Virginians are a peaceful people, but they will only go but so far if you are continuing to make threats against the people. What kind of language is this, Delegate Levin? What kind of language are you trying to say that you fully support the governor to call out the National Guard against the people of Virginia? Are you crazy? Are you absolutely nuts? I think you are. That's why you created this bill, HB 961, and the other bills that will completely change the way Virginians vote. You guys Democrats want to create the Electoral College to make it to base it off the national vote, meaning that the national vote, that our Electoral College votes will go to the national vote. Whoever wins the national vote. That's basically what they're trying to say. That's what will happen. Instead of going to what Virginia voted for, whether it be Democrat or whether it be a Republican or whatever, it should stay with Virginia. That's the process. Each state has its own voice. And then when you're trying to base it off the national vote, it takes away the vote of the states. It takes away the vote of the small states like Rhode Island, who have a complete voice. But yet, if you want to try to bring in the national vote we're going to put the Electoral College on a national vote, you have completely destroyed any voice of the Midwest, of the smaller states, and then our country will be completely ruled by California, by Texas, by Florida, by other states that have very large electoral colleges votes. So think about that. Do you really want that kind of outcome? And I don't think anybody would want that kind of outcome. And another another bill that's in legislature. They want to take us to a what's it called, a tier type of system where whoever gets the most votes in a primary would be the only ones that would be allowed. It's a tier. So like if the Democrats receive the most votes and out of all of these, then it would be the four Democrats that would run. So basically you lose any Republican that would ever vote, that could vote or be elected. So this is a type of it's almost like a jungle primary. I don't think it's not a jungle primary. It's a little bit different, but I can't remember what it's called. It starts with an R. But anyway, that's the kind of system that they're trying to put into place for Virginia, and it's completely unfair. It's what they use in California, and look at what happened with California. There's no Republican. There's no way any Republican can ever be on the ballot or even win, because why? The system is rigged. It's completely rigged, and we are losing our constitutional rights as men. Our inalienable God-given rights that God has given us as people to have. And now you have these Democrats that were bought and paid for by Bloomberg and Soros in the Virginia legislature, trying to dictate to its citizens how to live, what they can have. They want to take away the right to do. Just in the red flag law takes the right for due process. It takes away your right for freedom of speech. It takes away your right to, that your property would not be confiscated illegally. And this is what these red flag laws. Think about this. Okay, here's a prime example I want to give. HB 961 passes as it is, where it makes having magazines, firearms, that kind of thing, a felony. So you have a firearm. Now you have the red flag law, the SB 240 that passes. It says so. What's going to happen? Oh, it's not going to be used against the mentally ill who should not really have firearms. It won't be used against them. No. What does say? Oh, this person has a mental case. See, they know that person has a firearm. They know that person has a firearm. So what's going to happen? They'll use it against their opposition. Oh, this guy has he's kind of crazy. He may veil threats against me. So can you come again? Boom. That person did absolutely nothing wrong. He did not want to hand his firearms. But what happened? Because he has firearms, and because you have an opposition that seeks to destroy and confiscate firearms, now you're going to have a situation where that red flag law was used illegally against a person for owning a firearm because they did not want to hand in their firearms. And not only that, but this kind of bill, you're creating a situation where you make the people felons. So what's going to happen when you make people felons? You really think that people are going to stand around and allow themselves to be made felons? No way. They're going to fight. They're going to fight. Why are they going to fight? Because you forced them to fight. They have no other choice but to fight. And people say, oh, you take it through the court system. The court system can only do but so much. They cannot cause a cease and desist fully. You know what I mean? The state will continue to carry out their confiscation. The state will continue to carry out things unless there is a full cease and desist. They will not do that, and then they'll continue to have these laws processed over and over and over again, and they'll continue to go against the people until, of course, the Supreme Court can hear it. But by then, it might be a little bit too late, because by then the government has killed how many people for innocent people for owning a firearm, because they didn't want to give up their firearms because they don't trust the government. They don't trust them. And why would they? Why would anybody want to trust the government? Oh, we are your friends. Look at Venezuela. Give us your guns, because guns. We are taking these guns away in order to reduce gun violence. We are giving common sense gun laws. We are having gun safety because we want to protect the people from gun violence. And yet, what happens? They murdered. Look at Venezuela. It's in total chaos. The murdering of innocent people there who are standing up for their rights. Look at Stalin, who murdered millions. Look at Hitler, who murdered millions. Look at Che, murdered millions. Powell, murdered millions. I mean, the list can go on and on and on. And of the people who confiscated firearms and murdered people because of their political views. This is exactly the tree that these socialist Democrats are coming from. The exact tree doesn't fall far from the tree, right? These are the people in power. This is what they are going to do if they to get their way. Oh, we're not trying to take away your right to keep and bear arms. No, you are trying to take away our right to keep and bear arms, and you are doing it because you want to rule, because you want to have full power. You want to utilize the United Nations Agenda 21. You want to utilize the United Nations desire to disarm all of America. Why? So they can have a full reign to do whatever they want. So these are the things that are coming down in Virginia. And Virginia, yeah, it's a testing ground, stuff like that. But what people don't realize is Virginia also has a history of standing up for the rights of man. And I believe that these Second Amendment sanctuaries, if done right, and the people are really strong in what they believe, and really utilize the local governments to fight against these type of laws, then I believe that that Virginians will really be able to stave off this illegal push by these Democrats, and eventually the Democrats will be completely and utterly destroyed when it comes to their ideology. And then perhaps from there we could put into place, if once there's a full strong presence in the House and Senate, maybe we could have a legislative constitutional amendment to outlaw this kind of ideology, this communist socialist ideology that is running rampant, that's taking away the freedoms of the people. We are a free state, and but it's unfortunate that we have a group of people that hate America. They hate us. They hate everything that we stand for. And if you don't think that there isn't a cultural war taking place right now in America, then you're crazy. You're crazy. You look around you and see what is really going on. Look at how they're trying to enslave people and make them and to rule over them. God has given you inalienable rights. Then let's take that fight and let's protect it. Okay. So that's all I have for today.